All right. Welcome to Wholehearted, guys. Another episode. We got an extra visitor today, you guys, finally.
There he is, making his appearance. It's August Robert Jones, aka Chubberton, aka Robusto, aka Baby Gusbert, whatever you got for him.
All sorts of nicknames.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Chelsea's doing an orientation today. She just got a job as a music teacher at an elementary school for your daughters,
Yeah,
actually.
pretty awesome.
Pretty dang cool.
Yeah, so I think you mentioned it last time, the last episode, but you guys are living in Idaho Falls right now.
Yep.
You kind of made the decision to kind of move to Logan so we could be more kind of in touch with each other and try to make sure that we're doing things a little bit more effectively with Lovestrong.
Right, yeah.
And so you worked it out with your job.
To be able to work remotely.
To be able to be remote, which is awesome.
It's amazing that they went for that. That's a huge blessing.
And then what happened just in the last 3-4 days?
Yeah, but Chelsea wasn't even really looking for a job, but when we decided that we were going to come down here, she started checking around just to see what was available, and she found a part-time job as a music teacher at Providence Elementary, and she applied. On the way down, we decided we would swing in just to see, we're passing by the elementary, going to your place. Why not stop and see if there's anybody there to talk to? She went in, she left her number and her name and contact info, and then not even an hour, 2 hours later, got called down for an interview. She did the interview. She actually made one of the people cry for joy, not for sorrow, but for joy when Chelsea got asked. I think the question was like, so what makes you want to do this job, or like what is it that draws you to this job? And she got emotional thinking about helping kids, which she's just a golden soul kind of person, so that is no surprise. But anyway, they loved her and they offered her the job a couple days later. So crazy how that worked out. But and we found a place last night. We're getting it all squared away today, and within not even 2 weeks of making the decision and really settling in on it, it's all falling into place. It's one blessing after the next, and so we're trying to soak up the joy of it and just really be grateful.
I'm so excited about it. The girls when we heard that Chelsea got the job, my girls, it was like a straight up party in our house, like screaming, cheering. It was pretty cool. So we feel really lucky that we're going to get a chance to get to know August a little bit more, and get to have you guys close, but then have Chelsea be teaching my kids is a pretty cool thing too. So
that's really cool. Never in her dreams did she think that would be a thing, and same for me. It's
so weird, when you think about how things have sort of played out in this instance.
Yeah.
And how often in life does it just happen to flow that smoothly? Hardly ever.
Oh my gosh,
yeah. And when you have those moments, it's like all those questions go through you as to, well, is this because I'm living right, or is this because it's God in the details, or is it because, like, for whatever reason, and who knows? Like, I happen to believe that sometimes that happens for that reason, and sometimes things work out, and other times things seem challenging, and yet they're still right. And it's like, we've been through a lot of that too.
That's true. I mean, we've talked a lot about opposition on the podcast, but I talked to my coworker Leanne the other day, and she's got such a good personality, just really friendly and has some interesting ideas. I love talking with her, but I told her about some of the things that have lined up for us, and how my approach is typically I look around and like, okay, what's about to happen?
What's wrong?
It's too good, too good a situation. And she said, if you have the opportunity to be happy, just take it. Because a lot of the time you're not gonna have that, and it's important that you just bask in it while you can.
Absolutely. And as you're talking, I'm thinking about something that Brene Brown references when we're not acceptant of vulnerability in our lives, we actually rob ourselves of joy, and she calls it foreboding joy. When you're in the moment of like something that's really beautiful or nice or pleasant or wonderful, the first thing that crosses your mind is, what's going to go wrong? Like, what's wrong? What's going to go happen next? And so even in the moment of joy, it's foreboding because of the pain that's inevitably going to be coming. And so there's something that has to be wrong. And it actually is kind of a skill sometimes to just be able to sit still in a joyful moment. You know, just to be able to truly soak it up, experience some gratitude, and actually just have this like moment or set of moments or days or even a situation like yours that seems to be working out. Obviously there'll probably be some hitches, but just to be able to be okay with being happy.
Yeah, that's true. You know? It's hard.
It's so hard.
You wouldn't think it would be hard, you know?
Yeah.
But then I look at kids and they don't seem to have that as a problem, and they're anywhere near them, you know? It's like they are so totally in the moment of that joy, and they can't even fathom that there's anything outside of that joy.
They're just totally locked up, wrapped up in the moment. Right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there was ever a time when I was younger where I'd be outside playing and then I would be having a great time and then think, oh, but this isn't gonna last. I'm gonna have to go home soon, or you know, you just soak it up and you have a great time with it.
Yeah, absolutely. I wonder why we lose that.
Oh, I don't know. Probably because, you know, real life experiences happen where you hit a hard time and you experience pain. And so you now know what the other side looks like. The fact that it's possible to experience that pain kind of sits in the back of your mind and has, you know, it's like it digs a little place back there. And I don't know. I imagine that it's just that you experience more in life, and as you get older, eventually it just stays with you, and until you decide that I got to be mindful and actually enjoy this and try and kick that crap out of there. Yeah,
absolutely. I think it's work, and what you're saying I think goes along with the idea of the brain and how it works with our habits just of thought, and how we can actually sort of become addicted to a emotional way of being that happens really in our brains with the chemical functioning and the brain and thought processes that go on, but we think it's automatic, and then we end up feeling miserable.
Yeah.
Like half of the mornings I wake up in the morning and go, oh, do I have to get out of bed today? You know, it's like I'm almost addicted to that even before I think about what's ahead of me in my day.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that might be part of it. The other part of it I was thinking of is, like, culturally speaking, it's almost like the world we live in feeds so often off of negativity and off of what we would call humility, even though I don't think it's humility.
Right.
Where it's like we're almost not allowed to celebrate the good things when they happen because we look like we're being arrogant, or we look like we're being like pompous or whatever, and that we should be always kind of reserved. And then just the way that the world operates so much is that it gets headlines to have negativity. And so we almost get addicted to that in our own lives. And if we're not in drama somehow, then that means something's got to be wrong.
Yeah. You know, earlier, this kid woke up. He woke up throughout the night a couple times, but the time I'm thinking, it was around 6 o'clock. And Chelsea handed him over to me, and I just went and grabbed a bottle and fed him some milk. And after he was done, I was like, wow, what a pleasant kid. You know, he's so nice to hold and everything. And then later on, he started getting a little bit more fussy and a little more fussy. And in between, in that moment where he was just so nice to hold, I did have the thought of, oh crap, this isn't gonna last. He's gonna start freaking out. I need to keep bouncing or something. And talking to one of your daughters, talking to Lexi, she was holding him and looking down. He's passed out like this, and she said, "Oh, we love you when you're asleep." And Boots was like, "What? That's so mean. Why would you say that? You don't like him when he's awake?" And you know, Lou was saying, "Well, we don't. It's hard when he's crying," and that's a reality, you know.
Yeah.
When you experience that discomfort, and I'm actually starting to think a little bit about, and I don't know if you're on this still or not, but what you've been doing with the Wim Hof
I'm still doing it.
You're still doing
Yeah.
it. All right. Yeah, maybe you divulge a little bit of
Yeah.
that, but where you're actually seeking a certain level of discomfort and trying to experience it intentionally.
Just a minute. Root. Sorry, dog's pestering a passerby here on the trail. So looks like we got it set. So anyway, yeah. So I totally agree with you, and that is something that I've been working on. I set a goal for about 30 days, and I'm way past 30 days now.
Dang.
This morning, I ran the water fully cold. And I stood there for like 2 minutes. I'm like, why am I doing this to myself? And then I had to sit and have this dialogue in my head back and forth that I was like, I'm learning to embrace the choice of doing the hard thing. And then I took a deep breath and plunged in, and of course, my breath goes away again. That never gets better.
Yeah.
It's not like it's enjoyable. But after the first couple of minutes, I washed off. I'm sitting there. I'm like, I'm going to see if I can relax in this freezing cold water. And so I was able to spend another 2 or 3 minutes in pure just breathing and relaxation. And I actually found that I found some rejuvenation and some energy that came as a result of choosing to do the hard thing.
Yeah.
To the point that even by the time I drove from my house to my office, another 15, 20 minutes away, my fingertips were still cold by the time I got to the office, and reminding me of that cold, but I was also feeling like this surge of chemical, like surge of like energy and feeling refreshed, and that only came through the choice to walk through the hard thing.
Yeah.
My wife still thinks I'm nuts. Like even the thought of doing that to her, she's like, "You're stupid." Like that's just some guy like playing a big practical joke on a whole bunch of people, you know. I'm like, well, if he is, he's gonna have a good time with it. And,
Yeah.
you know. So
Well, if it makes you feel any better, I've been turning on the shower, and instead of checking to see if it's warm enough, I just step right in.
oh, got a boy.
Yeah, I'm doing that
You're-
much at least.
You're embracing it. A little bit.
Yeah, and I usually it's just my lower half that gets hit with the water. I'm like, but after a little bit, I'll finally take that step forward and just kind of ease into it. But man, it's it's uncomfortable.
Yeah, well, it is uncomfortable, but it's designed to be so.
Yeah,
You know, and I don't think our lives have to be that way. We sometimes choose to make them that way, you know, and I think that's what we've been talking about today a little bit is sometimes we can make the choice otherwise to actually embrace something and enjoy it. And there's an immense amount of vibrance that comes with allowing ourselves permission to do that.
yeah,
You know, I was looking at some pictures from the Wind Rivers where we just went backpacking last week, and just remembering a couple of moments where even the hike up was hard and strenuous, but there were a few points where we stopped and I actually allowed myself time to just breathe in what I was experiencing, and that clear air and the smell of the wildflowers and the vistas of the mountains with the snow up on the top, even the horses that were with us. All of that was just so like, I don't know what the words to use, but vibrant and colorful, and it totally filled me up and made me realize, you know what, life is a beautiful, wonderful thing. And I don't, day in and day out, often have that thought. Life is a beautiful, wonderful thing run through my brain. And yet, in every day, there's something that I could probably find that would allow me to say that.
yeah.
So, anyway, any other thoughts you're having, or?
I'm at a point where I'm feeling a lot of gratitude in my life, in part because we're receiving so many blessings, and I think it's easier to feel gratitude when it's very obvious that things are coming to you from God. But just feeling that gratitude has helped in so many small moments. Chelsea getting the job, and some of the discussions we've had around music, and then spending time with family and everything, even especially, I should say, having this kid. There's just been so much where you're talking about color and vibrancy that gratitude really helps facilitate seeing that. And, a lot of the time, I'm not necessarily feeling the gratitude already. It's that I sit down to try and force some gratitude and choose to be grateful. And then that's when I see the thing. And part of it goes to what we talked about with journaling. Like I really do enjoy journaling, but the last couple of days have entries where I don't really have much to say other than I'm gonna express some gratitude here and now. And as I've done that, it just, I feel it. I feel it in my chest. I feel it in my mind, and it's like God's just saying thank you back. You know,
it's
when
almost
He
like
gives
you
you
say
that feeling.
thank you, and he doesn't know anything back, but the act of saying the thank you and noticing, and
Yeah.
I think that's you said, I don't typically, I have to choose to do that. Yeah, you have to notice.
Yeah,
And it's that act of taking the time to notice that then you almost get the payback again.
yeah,
It builds on itself.
yeah, absolutely. I
that's
mean,
awesome.
even just this morning, coming up the stairs at your place and just sitting on the back porch for a little bit and holding him. I usually don't have mornings with him because of my work schedule, but today I've been able to do that for different reasons, and it was so nice to just sit there with him and look at his face, and he's just kind of looking around, not knowing what anything is. I have no clue how much he can actually see, but he's just observing, soaking it in, and feeling so many feelings as I try and sing a little song to him and hum some songs that it's just amazing. It's so amazing what we can be given, and even what we can miss. That could have been a time where I try and set him aside and go off and do something else, and I would have been totally left without that experience. And not that I'm perfect at that either. I have plenty of those kind of experiences, but it certainly helps.
Absolutely, and that's what then kind of connects you back to your heart, and why you do what you do as a man, and why you go to work the other days, and you get to experience that, and you get to have that little tiny moment with him.
Yeah,
which is awesome.
Pretty dang awesome.
So, yeah. Well, good. Let's call it a wrap.
Yeah, sounds good
All
to
right.
me.
Thanks, guys.
See you guys next week.